I'm just gonna say it. Ultras are very bad for Dragon Ball Legends.
Huh?
Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Ultras are very bad for Dragon Ball Legends in the future.
I can't believe he would do this. I can't believe he would attack our Lord and Savior Dragon Ball Legends like that. Nano, why? Every single thing that he said in that video, I agree with. If you haven't seen it yet, I will link in the description below so you can go check it out. Ultras are absolutely going to be the downfall of Dragon Ball Legends. Now, before we start, before I get people in my comments saying stuff like,
Rhyme, they're free right now. We don't know what they're gonna do. For all you know, it's gonna be good. Yada, 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 yada.
that's fine. That's fine. It hasn't happened yet. You guys know me. For the longest on my channel, one thing I've always kind of tried to push for is let's try it before we knock it. I'm not a big fan of knocking something before we know how it works. I think it's stupid. It's it's a terrible way to go about it. But at the same time, from seeing what the Dragon Ball Legends team has done with Legends for like the past 3 years, I feel like they tend to do this thing where they introduce something cool and new, and then it just completely just plummets into the ground. Like, bro, what did you expect to happen? It's like, with every little thing they try, they make it better over time, but I feel like that initial announcement of whatever change they introduce ends up being so horrible for the game, and makes the game incredibly unfun to play. And I feel like Ultras are going to test the waters with that. Absolutely. You guys remember the big update that we got, what, 2 years ago now? It was so exciting. I was part of the actual announcement reveal. They didn't tell me all the other bad stuff that was inside it, but it was like, oh, this is cool. And then the update came out, and it was absolutely ass. Now, to give them credit, they did improve. The thing that Legends does good, a lot of times they'll introduce something terrible, and they do improve it. It might not be like to the best improvements, but they are taking basically strides to make it better. With this case, I feel like Ultras are definitely going to be like a make or break moment for several reasons. Like, here's the thing. Legends is a PvP-based game. If you miss a unit in other gacha games, well, yeah, it sucks. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not as vital, basically, to the game. This game is all PvP-based. If you don't get the new units, you're not going to be enjoying the PvP aspect as much. And if you not get, like, new units that are rare and harder to get, you're especially not going to enjoy it. My big problem with Ultras right now is, well, it's an ultra rarity. It's supposed to be the rarest thing in the game. LFs, which we thought were LRs for the longest, are already hard to get as is. Now, one thing that I would not mind to do, and I'm tossing this out there again, just so, you know, they have this idea out there, you know, I would not mind, would not be opposed if they do something like where they introduce LFs at a higher rate. Like, let's say, because right now LFs for featured LFs are 0.5% to pull. That's why it is hard to get. And then unfeatured LFs in the same banner are 0.25. I would not be opposed if they bumped it up to, like, let's say 1%, which is basically equal to Sparkins right now. And then you can have maybe 0.5% for non-featured LFs. And then they introduce Ultras as summonable units, and then they basically give them the 0.5 to them. I would not mind that. You know, I feel like that would be perfectly balanced for what the game represents. Because at the same time, you're still getting a powerful LFs that have the flashy outros and finishes and legendary finishes. And then you're getting all this new, shiny new toy, the Ultras, that also have fancy intros and stuff like that. Like, that would be kind of cool. But as it stands, we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm afraid for that first LF, well, not LF, sorry, Ultra. I'm afraid for that first Ultra, the second we see it, that banner pop up, and see that it's like 0.1% to pull. Do you guys understand how bad it's going to be, especially in a game where you need several copies to make them viable? I mean, you don't necessarily need it. They are viable at like 2 to 3 and 4 stars, but let's be real. Like, if you go into a game where, you know, in higher rank play, on average, you usually get to see like, you know, 7-star plus, those 2-3 star units won't be as viable for you. And on top of that, won't be as much fun because you know how much harder you have to work to do anything. It's not impossible. We've seen people with 2-star units beat 14-star teams with ease. You know, at the end of the day, skill is what outplays you. But still, you're not going to have fun, you know, going against that team. So I'm just like worried that the second that banner goes live, we see the rates just be ass. It'll make me not want to play the game. And I feel like we need to let them know right now. Again, we don't know what's planned. For all we know, they're probably going to jack up the rates for everything across the board one day. And maybe like when Ultras come out, they'll be like 1%, whereas everything else is like 2%. Sure. If we get to that point and that ends up being basically what they do, I'm here for it. But I'm telling you, I just feel like it's going to be so... Ooh! And you know the worst part is, I bet you they're going to do it with something super flashy and cool. Because like right now, we got the iconic Goku for the first Ultra, which makes sense. You know, you got to give them something that's iconic that we all know and love. and that Goku going Super Saiyan against Frieza was perfect. And then they gave us the Vegeta, so it's like, it's clear that they're saving all the good ones. You know, I saw a lot of people like, really, they gave us Namek Vegeta. They didn't even give us like the Saiyan Saga Vegeta versus Goku, or even like a Super Saiyan Vegeta. That's because they know what they're doing. They're not going to give us the cool animations for free. I bet you the next Ultra we get will probably be something like First Form Frieza, or like Kid Gohan, or like, I don't know, Basic Bitch Piccolo, something that we remember like an iconic moment, but it won't be something that won't be as exciting as, let's say, the higher end premium side of what these characters have done. For example, we're probably not going to get like a Final Form Frieza Ultra for free. We're probably not going to get Vegeta going Super Saiyan for free. You get my point here? They're saving all those for premiums at some point. And the other thing that Nano mentioned in his video, which is the reason why I complained so much about this when we saw the Vegeta, is the reused units. Because right now, to me, I'm going to just say it. I'm going to say it. Ultras are glorified Sparkings. They're just glorified Sparkings with an intro. Because the thing is originally when they introduced the ideas of Ultras, they were like, yeah, every animation is going to be unique. They mentioned how the Ki Blast animation will be unique, the charging animation. They gave them something that's completely different from the average unit in the game, the average LF. And I thought that was cool until we saw Vegeta and he had the same Ki Blast animation, the same charge animation, the same clash animation. I'm like, so what's different? All you really just gave them was an intro. Because at the end of the day, the blue cards and the green cards and stuff like that we see are already unique for every single character that they release in the game. For the most part, every time a new unit drops, the green and blue cards are pretty unique to what they are. On top of that, when you have an LF and an Ultimate, they're even more fancier. So in all reality, Ultras are just glorified Sparkings with an intro. That's all they are. I'm gonna just say it. It's the truth. Now, the other thing I'm worried about is, again, this is a PvP-based game. And, you know, as Nano mentioned in this video, they have Ultra abilities, which power up these units even more. If you put Goku and Vegeta, the Ultras, on the same team, because they fit in the same team, they're all like Namek Saga, because of the Ultra abilities, they become a lot more powerful. So will there even be a crazier power creep now, because Ultras are basically present in the game? If you guys remember when LRs, if you played Dokkan, when LRs were added to the game, the power difference was like astronomical. If you get to the point where Legends is going to have Ultras left and right, no one's going to care about the Sprongs anymore. No one's going to care about the Legends Limit anymore. It's going to be all about Ultra, Ultra, Ultra. And if you can't keep up, if the rates are worse, the game is just going to be unplayable. I don't understand. I feel like the only reason why they even added Ultras is because they felt like, hey, we can probably figure out a way to make more money about this. That's the truth. In fact, I'm 100% sure that's the truth. And look, I'm not going to knock a company for making money. Make your money. Get your bread. I always tell everybody, whether you're a company or person, go get your bread. Just don't be dirty about it. Don't be sleazy about it. And if you are, the best way to, I guess, avoid that is to just not support X, Y, and Z anymore. In this case, you know, Legends has done a lot of, like, I don't know what you want to call it, scummy things to make more money. I think equipment rerolling is the biggest scam in the game right now. If you want to use erasers are incredibly hard to get. Well, they're not hard to get, but they're kind of locked in the game with how you receive them. And usually, if you want to get a good roll, you're looking at maybe like 20 to 30 to 40 erasers before you get that good roll. And then after that, when you run out of rolls, you gotta pay CCs, crystals, to re-roll. It goes from 10 to what, 30 to 50 to 100. Like, you can stock up crystals. I've done it just to test it, you know. I've had literally situations where I'll spend like 3 to 6 to 7,000 crystals just trying to get a gold roll. And I do it very rarely. I don't know how someone like Goresh can just keep re-rolling until he gets all those like Z ranks. With me, I've done it a couple times and I just want to completely throw the game away. So it's like with practice like that available in the game, and now we're getting Ultras, which potentially have higher rates, or lower rates, I should say. It's setting the game up for a very, very bad future. Like, think about it. Think about this, okay? 2 years from now, right? They have a lot of Ultras out. Now, I know they mentioned they want to do Ultras like once every 3 months, but let's say the game does make it to like year 4, year 5, whatever. And at that point, you have enough to do full Ultra teams. Why would you want to run Legends Limited? Why would you want to run regular Sparkings? Why? Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, the power creep, granted, you'll probably have less stars on it, which is how they like want to justify it. You'll still get people that have a lot of stars in them, and you'll still get people that just run nothing but Ultras. So it's like, well, what's the point? Because I remember when Dokkan first started doing LRs and stuff like that, we literally got to the point we can just run an entire LR team and just blow through any event. So it's like, it doesn't matter with Dokkan. With Dokkan, you can play however you want. But this is a PvP-based game. No one's gonna want to go into a game with a team full of Sparkings, knowing you're about to have like 6 Ultras all on the same team that's gonna just rail you by just breathing on you. So what's the point? Why are we getting Ultras? God, I'm really just annoyed about this. Like, it's the one thing that's got me thinking, like, all right, if they do this the wrong way, I don't even want to see them improve at this point. I feel like if I see Ultras come out and they end up having like horrible like ass pull rates, I'll just put the game down. I don't even want to support it anymore. Like, and it sucks because I love playing Legends. I think it's a fantastic game in certain situations. Obviously, if you get lag and stuff like that, it makes you want to throw your entire phone away. But if you get in a good situation, Legends is a pretty fun game for what it is. But a lot of different aspects just coming together all at once is just like, I get why people don't like the game. I get why people play the game and put it down, uninstall and stuff like that. I understand it. And now seeing that Ultras are just this big threat that are like coming around the corner, like, what does that mean for the future of the game? And as you guys already know, no gacha game is forever. You know, as Nana mentioned in this video as well, no gacha game is forever. Are we going to get to the point where they release a handful of Ultras, but the player base keeps dwindling and declining, and then they shut the game down, and it's like, cool, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. Like, I put all this time, money into this game, and now it doesn't exist anymore because of a stupid idea that was tossed out there. And by the way, before anyone says, why don't you say this shit to Toshi? I do all the time. So does Garesh. So does Rai. So does Riku. So does everybody else that's been getting on calls with the team for like the past couple of months. Ever since we first saw Ultras, none of us have ever been like, oh yeah, this is great, give us more. We did enjoy the ideas of Ultras, and we were just like, yeah, this is cool, you know, it looks flashy, but what about the rates? What about the plan to implement this in the future? Like, how you going about that? Obviously, they don't tell us, but like, we have been pushing for like, hey, you're on thin ice. If you do this the wrong way, it's going to ruin the game. So they definitely know. And I know that they see y'all's tweets, y'all comments. You know, I know that they lurk Reddit and stuff like that. They see what everybody are saying. They know what the community is kind of expecting with Ultras. But I still don't know what they're going to actually do. Oh my God. Again, I hate wasting an upload in a day complaining about something and talking about something. Sometimes it's fun. But a lot of times, I just want to sit down and play the games. But I feel like if I don't make videos like this and really like speak out over dumb practices, I feel like that gives an excuse to do it. So I don't know. I'm worried. I'm just worried. Now again, if for some reason we who've been basically complaining about this, they end up being wrong, and again, Ultras end up being like even 1% pull rates, and then they bump up LFs to like 2% or whatever they end up doing with it, fine, sure. But I'm telling you right now, Toshi and the entire Dragon Ball Legends team, if you guys even attempt to drop something lower than a LF, a Legends Limited pull rate, the entire community is going to explode over it. Like, the entire community. Like, it's just, at that point, I wouldn't even want to, like, invest in the future in the game, just because I know it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So, just letting you know right now. By the way, if you made it to the end of this video as well, feel free to just chime in as well. Give me your opinions and thoughts on it. Like, what would be, like, the breaking point for you? What will be okay for you? Basically, I want you guys to speak out on this as well. And if you enjoy videos like this, hit that thumbs up as well, because again, it lets me know that people are behind some of the things that we discussed here and stuff like that. But yeah, oh God. And again, I highly recommend to watch Nano's video, because he basically nailed everything that we've been talking about for like the past couple weeks. So again, if you're completely clueless about all this, go click that video. And again, we don't know what they're gonna do. I guess we'll find out, who knows, in the next year or so. Something tells me we're gonna get them a bit sooner, but we'll find out at least within the next year or so what Ultras are going to look like. Yeah. Also, by the way, I'm just tossing the question out as well. Do you guys prefer having fancy intros with Ultras or legendary finishes? I know last time I talked about this, a lot of people were like, well, at least you get to see an intro with the Ultras. With LFs, usually people forfeit before the attack animation kicks in, and I agree. And that's something I also can't stand about Legends Limited right now. It's like you finally pull up that Legends Limited, and then it pops up saying it forfeited. At least, like, code it so if they forfeit as the animation starts, you at least get to see it on your end. The other player can already leave and go back out to the lobby, but at least let me play through the animation so I can see what I worked to pull and get lucky enough to pull. Yeah. Legends is a fun game. They just make very, very questionable decisions, and I'm just worried for the future of it in the long run. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna end the video right here. Fingers crossed that they do this right. If not, the game's going in the trash can.